How are your soils looking as we move into winter? I've got this garden bed that's always planted with feature bulbs, daffs, jonquils, tulips and more. And they're hungry and they use a fair bit of goodness from the soil after the flowering is finished each season. Replenishing soils with high nitrogen and reasonable levels of phosphorus is good, and you'll need potassium too. To know what is best for your soil, you should check the chart out on the back of the label on your bag or bucket. It will tell you the NPK, and one of the best is one that promotes strong flower growth. Now, there's lots of different advice on how you should feed your bulbs, the most common being that you wait until the first 2 leaves emerge out of the ground before you start feeding. I do it very differently, almost complete reverse. I'm actually putting the fertiliser down, digging that into the soil 3 weeks before I plant the bulbs. And my goal is not to be feeding the plant, it's actually to be feeding the soil microbes. Every handful of soil is alive with billions of microscopic organisms, and they do different things. Sometimes, if there's too many, they might damage plants' roots, and sometimes they'll predate the bad microbes, keeping the plant strong and healthy without ever needing a chemical pest control. So why would you be using this? Well, it's a very important fertiliser for a very different reason. It's got a very complex blend of different mineral nutrients, but it's the microbes that are in this that really make the difference. You see, when you've got the microbes in the soil, effectively they are connecting the minerals and the roots. They're the conduit. They make it soluble so the plant can take those nutrients up. Otherwise, they might be locked up in the soil and never used. And this is very much like a probiotic. We know if we take antibiotics ourselves, that more often than not, we have to take something like yogurt to get our gut health well again. Well, this is no different. This is your probiotic for the garden. One vitally important part of this process is watering it in after use. After the longest, hottest summer I can remember, the soil is lacking moisture, and the moisture is key to life. Adding microbes and nutrients won't make a lot of difference if we don't re-wet the soil, and that can be done with a hose or a wetting agent if you want. Soaking every few days over a couple of weeks will restore the soil back to its best health, and that's when you think about planting. Now, my choice of Troforte for this particular project is Rejuvenator because I've got sandy, gutless soils and I'm just slowly building them up. But if you've got a half-decent soil, then you might want to have a look at their roses, azaleas and camellia Troforte. It's absolutely fantastic. And speaking of Troforte, a lot of people get quite confused. You can only find Troforte in independent garden centres. But if you want to get the same technology, pop into your local Bunnings store. They have power feed with Troforte technology. Have a look on the label, you'll see it, and it makes the world of difference to the health of your soil.